right, good day everyone. Welcome to part 22 of the Dart series, Dart from Scratch for Beginner, that we are learning. In this video, we'll be learning more about the collection, and this is the continuation of the previous video, which we are actually learning list data type under the collection. All right, not to waste much of our time, we get right into it. In this video, we'll be learning about how we can actually transform the data. Those data we actually store inside the variable list variable. Let's see how we can transform them, because actually when you have data, definitely you will want to work on it. You want to do one or two things on the data, and because of that, data transformation actually comes in, whereby you can modify, you can restructure, you can do so many other things you feel like doing with that particular data before returning it back to the front end. Sorry, am I saying front end? Yes, before returning the data to the interface where someone can actually say it, which is the user. All right, let's just say list data type. Don't mind me, actually having a running nose. List data type, that's transformation data transformation. Okay, dot that. I think this is fine. You can name it any file you feel like. This is not, it's not compulsory for you to name it what I actually name it. Just make sure you follow the naming convention, and we've actually thought about that in some of our previous video. All right, we said void main, and sorry, and yes, and we have that's the list data transformation. I've said I've explained to you what data transformation is. Then why do we need data transformation? Because we need to just format the data. We need to maybe add some things to it, or remove something before giving it to the user to actually see. And how do we want to do it is what we're actually doing now. With the help of map, we have a function called map. We can actually transform our data. Even list sorting is also part of data transformation. If you can remember, we have something like this in one of our previous video, maybe the first or the second, under the collection. We have something like this. If not exactly like this, we have something like there's something like 1 2 3 4. Let's just use it that way. What is this? Sorry. Then semicolon. Then we did something like sort. We said numbers dot sort, and we sorted the data and we print the data numbers. We print the data, and let's try and run this. You can see that we transform the data. The data is actually coming as 1 2 3, which is in order, and we actually sort it to be like order, ascending order. Then we'll sort it to be descending order, whatever the situation might be. Let me just run this. Let's say that run. We have list, sorry, we have bin slash list data type data transformation, and something strange might happen here, but let's see what happens. All right, I thought as much. We can have 10 year, we can have 2 year, we can have 13 year, we can have 40 44 here, we can have 52 here, we can have 1 here, we can have 30. Okay, let's have it in a random way so that we can see if this sort work or not. All right, the sort work. Now is able to sort the data for us. Now that's one of the transformation actually. Then we can actually now go for something more. We've done something like this also. We have another it's not really a data type actually. It's just there's something we call iteratable. You know that every collection is iteratable. What do we mean that iteratable is? You can iterate it by looping, like you can present the data by looping it. That's what is called iteration actually. Then any of the collection data type is iteratable. That's why we have this. If you actually want to declare an iteratable data, which is you don't want to specifically say the data type, if it is list, if it is map, if it is what you call sets, any of the three, if it's actually it. If you don't want to say, if you don't want to explicitly declare it, then you can use iteratable. And we have integer, and we have double. Yeah, the reason why is double, we get to know about it. Let's say num. We've done something like this before also. Num.map into, and we have arrow function. You can put anything you feel like inside, but let's say number because it is num, and we do the arrow function, and we can pick the number again, multiply by 2. We did something like this earlier. This is a variable, sorry, and this is a variable, sorry, and we can print it. We can print, and we can print doubled, that we double the value. And definitely if you run this, you should see that it is double. 1 times 2 here, I can remember when it sorts it, then it's now doubling it. That is what just happened. But you notice that it has turned the data to something else. Yes, it has turned the data to something else. This is what we call iteratable form of data. When you see open bracket and close, I think I mentioned it briefly in the previous video, but if not, I'm repeating it now. When you see open bracket and close, means iteratable, and this is just related to Python. When you have tuple in Python, we have tuple in Python whereby it is open bracket and close. That is what it is. It is iteratable. It is, but it is not what it is. We can work extensively on. Because of that, we need to convert it to a real data. Even if you make this as a list, let's say this is a list of integer value, and it's having the arrow function. Okay, I think this is, we're gonna have it I'm gonna have it like int. It should work. var, yeah, you can have it like this also, and this should work actually. You can see that it's double it works. It's not compulsory for you to put the variable iteratable there. You can see that I put it as var. We have var, we have const, we have dynamic. You can use any of them. You can see that it's turned it from that particular, because there is no specific, and they cannot be specific because you are actually trying to transform the data. You cannot explicitly give a good type of data to it like list or any other forms. You can only use iteratable var variable that are dynamic in nature. That is what you can use. I think you can use dynamic also. Let's run one more time and be sure we can All right, fantastic. We can. All right, that's what we are talking about. Then, because of this, now we need to put it. We need to convert it. We already learned data conversion. We need to convert it to list. Can you convert to list? I don't know why it's not bringing it as part of the list, but this should work. Fantastic. You can see now we are now able to convert it back to list, because we might want to work more on it. We might have more things to work on. All right, let's have more example. Let's have one more example. We can have list of string. That is our data, definitely. And we can say names. We can say John names. You can say John square bracket, that's for list. We have, let's say John, let's say Jane, and let's say Hood. And we can actually transform this name into another type of data, and this can go with the same logic we actually do, which is iteratable, and we can make it a string iteratable actually, and we can call it, maybe we wanted to do this thing the other time. I was looking for a function that can just get it up for me, but unfortunately we don't have that kind of function. I think we have it in Python. We call it capitalize. When you just put capitalize in an array or a string, it's going to capitalize it. And we have it in PHP also. We call it string to upper or string to lower. We have all those things like that. String to capitalize also, I think we have it in PHP also. And we can do this, and we say capitalize. Capitalize just means we want to make the first letter of each of the word to be capital letter. That's what capitalize means. Capitalized equals to names dot, and we can do map, definitely, and we can bring in our arrow function. Now we can use n also because it's name. We can just use n or name. We can use name because it was names. Then we can now use names, name, and just singular and plural, not to be confused about anything. Then that name, we are targeting the first, we have index, don't forget. We are targeting index 0, which is the first index, which the first letter of the each word is going to be. We are targeting it, and we are using dot to upper just to transform that one. Then we are now concatenating it. We've talked about concatenation also. We are now concatenating it to be, this is where concatenation is actually useful. We are now concatenating it with, we've talked about substring also. All these things, that's it. You are actually learning it from scratch. You are learning it bit by bit. It's just like you are learning how to build a house. You want to be an engineer. You are going to learn each of the things you are going to be using to build a house piece by piece, from the lowest down to the highest, where you learn about sand, you learn about cement, you learn about water, you learn about all those equipment one after the other. That is how programming is also. If we didn't learn all these things, we can't just be bringing it up. Now we've learned to upper, we've learned substring. Now substring, now we want to actually bring the rest of the data out. Substring pick from start. You can see even the IntelliSense, this is not AI now, the IntelliSense has actually tell us that the substring is expecting start and end. Do you get? Now when we declare start and we didn't declare end, it means that pick it from the start to end. Do you get it? That is what we are doing here. Now the start is from index 1. We've already give index 0 a formatting. We are now concatenating index 0 with the rest of the string. That is what we are doing here. And yeah, we've been able to transform the data completely, and we can put it this way, but always remember to turn it to list back. That is it. And you can actually put it anywhere. You can go and put it inside your string, and you can put it here. Depends on whatever you want it to be. We can put it here so that we've done to string here inside the print. Let's put it together in here so that you know that it is because you can see that it is still the variable names. That is why we can do to list here. To list. All right, then we can just freely print here and say capitalize, and we can run this and we should get the result. You can see now we have John. We can see that we've transformed the data, we've cleaned up the data, we've formatted the data. Any kind of English you want to use, everything goes. You can see we now turn each capital letter of each word inside the list, we turn it to capital letter. Each letter we turn it to capital letter. That is what we want to actually achieve there. And yeah, you can do as much as possible. We've done where. I don't know if you can still remember the where. Let's talk about where also. We can have two more examples before this video runs out. We are still in 16 minutes. All right, we already have name. Then let's just add maybe one or two more names. Let's have one or two more names. Let's have, what should I add? Someone is bearing pencil. Okay, is human being is bearing pencil. I've made the person before. All right, you can use pencil also. Let's clear our terminal. Then we can do something. What do we want to do? Okay, let's work on the number first. Let's see how we can use where in number. We want to use where in number. All right, and this is as simple as you think. Actually, the where now is what we want to do, and what we want to actually achieve is, let's say, in list. Yes, we can go with list. We can go with int. Definitely we can go with here too. You can change it to list too. It doesn't mean it's going to work either iterable or list. It's just that some kind of data will not work in some cases. I think in this man's cases, I don't know. All right, we can say evens. We can say even. We want to check even number inside our numbers, right? We want to check even. We've already even times it here, but we are not worried. We just want to target the number, not the doubles. Do you get? Because the doubles is likely for everything to become even. And we have evens, and we can say numbers dot where. This is where. We've done whereType also, I believe. I don't know. If we've not, we can still touch it. We say where what? Where we have numbers. We can now say number. Yeah, number. Where number. Sorry, we are using arrow function. We have where number. Where number is divided by, that is modular division. That's percentage. I believe we remember the operators when we are learning the arithmetic operators. And if it is modular 2 and the result is 0, that means it is an even. That's just, we are done. We are done with it. You can see numbers. We have evens. We have numbers where this number modular 2 is equals 0, then it should give us whatever we want. But it's saying something. Let's see. It says it cannot be list, it can be iterable. All right, let's change it to iterable. All right, it's fine. Anyhow you want it to list, and we are done. And yeah, just print evens. We want to print evens out of it. Even number. Let's run this sharp. All right, you can see now 2 is an even, 4 is an even, 10 is an even, 30 is even, 52 is even, 13 is not even, 1 is not even. You can see it's able to check out the evens. I actually like this function. Saying this function here, I actually like it so much. All right, okay, let's do one or two more before we go. It's already time. Let's do one or two more. Let's work on the what we call on the names. Also, we can say list string, and we can say results. You can give it anything to be the variable, and we can pick capitalize, and we can say capitalize dot where the name, because it's actually name, where the name arrow function, sorry, into another bracket, arrow function name dot length, where the length is greater than, or the length is actually greater than 3. Let's say there's one greater than 4. It's only pencil that is greater than 4. Let's do length greater than 4, and you can do dot again, dot map. We want to format the data, map, and we can do another name, the same name actually. You can use the same name dot to upper. I want to change it to upper, and that's all. And we can actually print. Okay, it's actually saying something. What is it saying? Okay, we cannot use string also, we can only use iteratable. No worries. When it tells you you cannot use anything, there's a reason for it. Just change it back. But most of the time, I think we use all these things freely. I don't know, maybe some kind of optimization I have actually happens where that is resulting to this, and we can say result actually. Oh my goodness. And we can print also, we can run it and see how it works. And finally, let's have this also. We can check type. Actually, we can check type. Let's say we have a dynamic. Definitely we can have a list of dynamics. I want us to treat this transformation completely here. Dynamic, list of dynamic, and we have mixed. For example, mix score, mix scores. You can just say scores. There's nothing like mix scores. Scores equals to, and we can have maybe 30. We can have like 20. We can have like 50. We can have like 70, and we can have like 20, 30, 20, and we can have like 10. I think this is cool, right? Okay, we can add one more. 20, 70. We can have another 50 actually. 50. Yeah, let's have it this way. And now we want to want to select out we want to clean up this data. Now we want to bring out the integer, the one that is integer there, and you can have a iteratable. You can have an iteratable of integer. Definitely we want to pick out the integer, and we have integer score, int score. You can name it anything. I'm only naming it what comes to my head. Anyhow you feel like, and we can say scores dot whereType. Yeah, we've been saying this function since whereType, right? All right. And whereType, before you now go, you have to add the type integer here. Then before you put the to list, whereType is integer. That's just what it means, to list. That's it. And you can print int score, and Done. All right, let's clear the terminal and oh wait, didn't I turn this guy to list to dot to list? Okay, and let me run one more time. All right, correct. Okay, you can see it fetch out the one with integer and left the one with string because we don't expect it to have a string actually. We can still do any and some kind of things also. We can check as much as possible, but not to extend this video past 25 minutes. It's already after 25 minutes, few seconds after 25 minutes. All right, if you like it, if this video is helpful to you, please don't forget to like, comment if you have any question around tech, not this video only, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.